All right. Good morning, everybody. I know it's kind of weird with like everything that's going around right now, especially with COVID-19. But we're here. We're still gonna try and get an education. So we're gonna do the best we can. But again, good morning. My name is Ron Sibley, and today I'm gonna be talking to you about pornography. So did you guys know in 2018 the famous site Pornhub totaled 33.5 billion visits to its website? That's crazy. And that's B with a billion, not million, but billion. Pretty crazy, but it actually happens. A lot of people, especially in today's society, a lot of people now are looking in like these different porn sites, like Pornhub's one, Bang Bros is another one. Like there's an infinite amount of different websites, which I'm not going to talk to you about today. But I thought the first thing that I would tell you guys about would be the evolution of porn. So to kind of start it all off, it all started with Dr. Kinsey's work, and basically what he did, he was a sexual behavior scientist, and basically for about 30 to 40 years, he was doing experiments and documenting different scientific data just about like human behavior and like their sexual like arousals and things regarding that nature. And in 1953, he published his book called Sexual Behavior in the Human Female, and was just like detailed all of his different experiences, which were very controversial, by the way, because he would have his he would like be filming and noting his different coworkers performing in sexual actions. It was very sketchy to say the least. But he published his book going over all the data and things like that, and society went along with this. Society was like, okay, this is good. Like the data he put out was very valid, so everybody went along with it. And right along this time, right as soon as he published this book, everybody knows this person, but that is when Hugh Hefner came out with his famous magazine called Playboy. And then to star the very first cover, guess who he puts on the cover? I almost said Marilyn Manson, LOL. Marilyn Monroe. Yes, the very famous actress Marilyn Monroe was on the cover of Playboy. And now, Hugh Hefner, he knew that he needed to make porn more elegant. He knew he needed to make it more fancy to appeal to more of a higher class. He didn't want it to come off as being like demeaning and like to be kind of like such a lower level. He wanted to make it high class. So what he would do is he would take like these different scientific articles and things like that, and he would just put just basically like just nudity pictures just right next to the columns, just like kind of make it like seem like it was something that was like ethical, something that was very pleasurable, and something that was very very high up in society, not something that was very low or anything like that. And then from then on, it was a hit. Everybody started buying Playboy magazines and things like that. And I mean, that's how porn really all started. It started off from your magazines, and then from the magazines, it went from then you had your big like your DVR upbringing. So that's when like people, they would like run to the nearest corner store, like they go buy their DVRs. And then that made it so much easier because now people didn't have to like go to like the super sketchy part of town and go on like this theater on like the really like bad side of town just to watch one of these porn films. Now they could just go to the store, go grab a DVR, then come back to their humble home and enjoy it. So the DVR was a really 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 big milestone in the porn journey. But then even bigger than the DVR, that's when the internet comes into the play. Internet really boomed the porn industry. I already told you about how there was like 33.5 billion visits to Pornhub in 2018. But because of the internet, it made porn much more accessible, it made it more available, and it made it more private than ever. So literally, any and everybody that had a stable internet connection had access to porn. So porn was on the edge of everybody's fingertips. It only took a couple of keystrokes to get to porn's website. So that's basically where porn started and how it's here today. Now I'm going to talk to you about the big profits of porn. So if I were to ask you a question, how much do you think the average porn star makes? I'll let that sink in. Now, like the average porn star I'd probably say about, after my research, I'd say they probably do about 20 to 30 scenes per year. So with that being said, how much do you think they make in a year? Well, according to my findings, it looks like porn. Now, depending on how big the star is, you have like your lower stars and then like you have your really big stars. But we're talking about like the average here. It's like the middle ground. So the middle ground for porn stars, their average is from anywhere from 120,000 to 140,000. That is crazy. Having a 6-figure job and just doing pornography. Now, a lot of people can do it, obviously, because I mean, like you have like respect for yourself and stuff like that. But that's just like the average star. Then you want to like talk about like the big names in porn, say like probably a Bella Danger. You have like Mia Khalifa. She was a big one. You have Lana Rhodes. I mean, I can go on and on with like these big porn stars, but these like big dogs of the game, they are like making anywhere from like 200 to 300,000. And then depending on like the movies and different endorsements and things like that they have, it really like their net worth just skyrockets from there. So really, as far as profit wise, porn is one of the fastest growing and like most profitable businesses we have today. But with that being said, everything does have its pros and cons. So sadly, now I'm gonna have to talk about the negative side of porn. So with that being said, as you all know, porn does have its bad side, and that bad side being like it can cause addiction and it can cause just a lot of bad and negative side effects, just depending on how much you watch it. Now you have the people who are just like casual people who are kind of into it, just like that. But for the people that are like really into it, who like watch it at least like 3 to 4 times a day, it has major effects on your brain. Like even with kids, it's even stated that like some research shows that like kids like just aged between like 14 to 16, they're already experiencing symptoms of erectile dysfunction, and just because of how much porn they're watching, which is insane, because usually that's just a disorder that happens with older men, but this is happening with kids like 14 to 16 years old, which is insane. And even this is going to mess them up further in life whenever they get into like an actual intimate relationship with people, because now their whole body's accustomed to looking in front of a computer screen, being completely alone. They're not going to be used to like actually engaging like physical contact and things like that, actually talking with another human being. So now whenever they actually get into like I said, another intimate relationship or another relationship in general, their whole like perception and like their whole judgment is going to be completely skewed just because of what they set themselves up for. And so I mean, yeah, with that being said, I mean, porn is definitely really, it can be really bad if used in the wrong way or used way too much. In this case, it does, and it happens all the time. It's reported a lot. I know there's a lot of different websites like enoughisenough.org where you can like seek help and things like that. But it is really one of the biggest problems we have here in America. Is just like the amount of porn we're consuming and the amount of time people are pouring into this community. Because like I said, it's just so easy, so accessible, so available, so anonymous. Like it's really becoming a big problem. And like I said, it has a lot of negative side effects it can have on the human brain. Like I said, affecting people's relationships, affecting people's actual like their bodies themselves, like how I brought up erectile dysfunction, and then not to mention like how it messes with people's brains. Excuse me, and like how it messes with the hypothalamus and like people's actual emotional response, like physical stimuli and then like that. So, like I said, I mean, when used too much or when used in the wrong situations, porn can really be bad on humans, human brains, human activity, and just society in general. So, with that being said, that's really all I have for you guys on porn today. I wish I could have been in class, and I wish I could have actually like answered a lot more of your questions and stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is. We had to do what we had to do. So again, thank you for listening, and y'all have a good day.